Welcome back. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. At issue today, Muslim teens talk about the challenge of practicing Islam surrounded by negative stereotypes about their religion. Before the break, Bona Muhammad spoke about how much harder it is for Muslim women in Canada. He's written a poem about some of those challenges. Here's an excerpt from Beautiful.
Or maybe it's Maybelline. Or maybe I should do a better job of lowering my gaze, but honestly, you're amazing. And I treat you like a queen because you give me no choice. My sister in Deen, it is time to rejoice. For you who believe and work righteous deeds, there is a garden of bliss for all of eternity. If only you would believe what your eyes could not see, which begs the question, what is beauty? Maybe it's the way her body shapes or the way she dressed. But if the whole world was blind, how many people would you impress? I couldn't care less for tight jeans or a short dress or those shirts that expose what God told you to protect. And I don't mean to sound rude, but how could you approve of any dude who doesn't mind sharing you with the whole world too? Because he probably don't think you're beautiful, he think you're booty full. Gloss lips with makeup on every single cuticle. And it ain't cute at all. Because if those shoes hurt your feet, why don't you just take them off? Some girls think that pain equals sassy, and if you got it, show it off. But nobody even looks happy with those plastic smiles on. And those magazines are wrong. Forget men and their songs. Love yourself first before you take anyone else on. And to love yourself is to love the one whom which all love belongs. There is beauty in creation, but the Creator really got it going on. Because there is something seriously wrong with preteens who look like moms and middle-aged moms who are afraid to see life move on. So they tell wrinkles to be gone, buy hair to make it long, pluck this, tuck that till you don't even know who you are. You women are oppressed, forced to flaunt your thighs and chest, and before puberty, you are already on a diet, promoting nudity like it's some kind of natural science, but you a diamond. I shouldn't even see past the glass cage unless I'm buying, but if you have no shame, then do as you please. Because what is beauty but an extension of modesty? So maybe she's right. Maybe she does deserve respect. And maybe she walks around feeling like a superhero with that scarf dangling from her neck. Maybe nobody is forcing her to wear it. Maybe she would never leave home without it. And maybe she don't care what other people think, because most people's opinions ain't even valid. Maybe she feels free. Maybe she has peace of mind. And maybe she'll give you a piece of her mind if you step out of line. Maybe she isn't perfect, but maybe she's trying. Maybe she's just taking things one day at a time. Maybe she laughs and maybe she cries, and maybe you would be surprised at everything she keeps inside. Maybe she can hear every single word said by those cowards. Maybe she has no problem defying all those who doubt her. Maybe she is a warrior and the silence is getting louder. Maybe she wears that shield because every single day is a battle. Maybe she is more than the skin she is in. Maybe we should start learning how to love what's within. Maybe God only knows all the places she has been, but maybe she comes back to Him again and again. Maybe she's not afraid to die, just afraid not to live. Maybe I am not worthy of everything she can give, because maybe she is kind, sweet, pure, gentle, and suitable, and maybe, just maybe, she is beautiful.
And joining me in the studio is 16-year-old Netta Muhammad. Welcome to the show, Netta.
Thank you.
You said to Patrick that after you saw beautiful. You were speechless.
Yes.
Why?
Because I thought the way he said, everything he said and the way he said it was done very well.
What was it about you that touched you so much about that
I
poem?
think just the way everything flowed, and everything that we try as Muslim women to tell people about us, he kind of just said it in one go in like 6 minutes, and it was amazing.
Now, he says that it's more difficult for Muslim women in Canada than Muslim men. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
Why? Why do you agree?
Well, men kind of have it easier in culturally, religiously. They have it a little bit easier than women do, just because like it's easier for them to blend into the culture. As for women, it's a little bit harder. Like for example, one very obvious thing is probably the way that people, like the way we dress.
Right.
In Islam, we're expected to cover ourselves.
Right.
And men, they don't have it as bad. Like they have to cover themselves, but it's not.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's sort of, I guess, a bit of a stereotype and impression that some people have is that a Muslim woman, for example, will wear a scarf, a hijab. You're not wearing one. Why not? What does that mean?
Well, for me personally, it's a choice. I've no one in my family really wears one.
Okay.
No one ever told me you have to wear it.
Okay.
It's if I want to, I can. If I don't have to.
Some people would say that it's sort of a cultural thing versus a religious thing.
Well, the forcing is more of a cultural thing because technically it's our own choice if we want. We're supposed to wear it, but whenever we're ready to wear it.
Right.
It's kind of like taking our religion to the next level.
Right.
So if we're not ready, then we don't have to wear it.
So let's talk a bit about culture versus religion and those two. You are able to separate them?
To an extent,
How
yes.
can you do that?
I guess it's kind of the way I've been raised. My parents have always said, yes, this is religion, like our praying, that is religion. It's not cultural. Like some things we do may not...
Give me an example, like the culture that you grew up in, for example. Your parents were from Pakistan, I understand? So what would be some cultural things that you grew up?
Well, one very obvious one is probably our wedding ceremonies and all the rituals and everything that we do. That's not religious, that's our own culture. That's all, like having all the fun and then the running around. That's our culture. The religious part of it is just like the actual wedding ceremony. That's probably the only religious part of it.
Do you ever struggle with that growing up, with your parents expecting you to behave in certain ways because of culture?
I think generally, like our general culture is based off our religion. So like the covering and all that, that's religious and cultural. But our religion kind of dictates exactly like what we have to look like. So
how would you respond if someone says that that's very oppressive to women?
I don't think so. I actually, in a way, I feel that like after watching the video of
Bona's video,
I felt the way he said it was great. Like we actually don't feel oppressed the way we're told, I guess, to dress. We're told to dress a certain way, but that's more for our own protection. It's kind of our own protection. And like the way that the West wants women to look, we feel that's more oppression.
Right, so the idea that removing garments of clothing is somehow liberating.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily see that to be
not
true.
Really.
Because then you get locked into you have to always remove your clothing to be more powerful, even if you don't want to. How does your religion help you empathize with situations in Canada? For example, this is Ramadan and you're fasting. How does that help?
It helps because in Ramadan we're not, like as you probably know, we're not allowed to eat during the day.
Right.
So the point of it is to understand people who can't eat, well, whether they be like homeless or if they just can't afford to have food, like kids in Africa or something.
Right.
They don't have that resource.
Right.
So it helps us to empathize with them and we know how they feel. So we feel like we can do something, we can help them somehow.
And you have, right? You've done something at your school around that. Can you tell me about that?
In our school we have a club called DECA, which is primarily a business club, but in that there's one section where you do creative marketing, which you can take any topic and you market it. So last year we did, me and my friend, we did poverty. That was our main issue, and we focused on poverty in Canada and specifically like the GTA. Because it is an issue, but no one really knows about it. You don't hear about it because you don't expect it to be in Canada.
Right. As you say, you think of Africa.
You think of third world nations or something.
And how do you see things changing in Canada in terms for Muslim people like yourself, for the better, I guess?
For the better, well, there's shows such as like Little Mosque on the Prairie and Muslims are more, I guess, involved now, and you see them more. So it's not like we're not aliens, I guess you could say.
Right.
So you see them everywhere, so it's not like a big deal, I guess. We kind of integrate into society.
What about certain things like dating? Are there any challenges for you there in terms of being a Muslim woman?
Well, as Muslims, we're not supposed to date. We're not
Right.
allowed to.
Right.
Whether people do it, that's their own thing. But
Right.
culturally, too, my parents have always said not to. And I don't have a problem with that. It's fine.
Is that difficult at school when everybody's talking about
In a
going
way,
to
yeah,
dance
it's
and dating?
it's a little bit difficult. Like I can still go to these events at school,
Right.
but I'm just not going with a significant person. I'm just
Right.
go with my friends or.
And do you feel left out at all because
No,
you can't
not
do that?
really. Because I don't know. I guess because I'm still a teenager, we're kind of young still. It's kind of not. Nothing's really serious. Even the relationships that happen at school,
Right.
nothing's really serious.
Right. Is there any advice you would give to someone, say, watching right now who maybe is a Muslim person or maybe not, about something they can do or a better way that they could help understand some of what it is to be Muslim?
Well, I think as teens, one thing we face most is peer pressure to do things. So like to go out more, because as a girl, I know for me, maybe it's culture. I think it's mostly culture, but my parents don't like me being out late and stuff. So I guess if you're not a Muslim, don't pressure them too much. Like be like, yeah, you let them know you want them to come, but don't, get on their case because it gets difficult. Because then you find that you're lying a lot to your friends about it.
Because you're embarrassed to say?
Yeah.
Why would you be embarrassed?
Well, not embarrassed, but some people don't understand, and then it just creates a whole bunch of other issues with friends, and then they take it the wrong way, and then,
Right, that you don't want to stay out late with them or you don't want to be there. So just accept that that's part
That's how they are.
your religion and that you should be respected. Well, thank you very much for coming today and giving us some enlightenment. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Well, up next, a young Muslim teenager says he's just like everybody else, and he can prove it.